ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणीं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। रामं रामानुजं सीतां भरतं भरतनुजं सुग्रीवं वायुसूनुश्च प्रणमामि पुनः पुनः। लोकाभिरामं रणरङ्गधीरं राजीवनेत्रं रघुवंशनाथं कारुण्यरूपं करुणाकरन्तं श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये। उद्भवस्थितिसंहारकारिणीं क्लेशहारिणीं सर्वश्रेयस्करीं सीतां नतोऽहं रामवल्लभाम्। जनकसुता जगजननी जानकी अतिशय प्रिय करुणा निधान की। ताके जुगपद कमल मनावहु जासु कृपा निर्मल मति पावहु। सिया राम मैं सब जग जानी करूं प्रणाम जोरी जुग पानी। मनोजवं मारुतुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये। श्रीगुरुचरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधार। वर्णौ रघुवर विमल जश जोदायक फलचार। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरौ कलेश विकार। सियावर राम जय जय राम मेरे प्रभु राम जय जय राम। श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। Krishna. So last time we were discussing Lord Ram's wedding. So Shri Sitaram wedding that we discussed in the last session. So along with Lord Ram's wedding with Mother Sita, all the three brothers, Lakshmanji, Bharat and Shatrughan, they were also married with the other sisters of Mother Sita. So Lakshmanji married with Urmila Devi, Bharatji married with Mandavi and Shatrughan with Shrutkirti. So after the wedding, the Bharat is now returning back to Ayodhya. And Bharat stayed for a long time actually in Ayodhya, in Janakpuri. Every day Dashrath Maharaj is ready to leave back to Ayodhya, and Janak Maharaj will say, please stay for one more day. So like that, so many days passed by, and finally Janak Maharaj allowed the Bharat to return back. Now as the Bharat is returning back to Ayodhya, last time we had to just leave there, we have to leave the Bharat on the way, somehow based on the time limitation. So as Bharat is returning back, Dasharatha Maharaj starts seeing many auspicious and inauspicious signs, both Shubh and Ashubh Lakshan. There are some auspicious sign and some inauspicious sign. And Dasharatha Maharaj is getting anxious, he is getting worried. What is the meaning of these mixed signs, auspicious and inauspicious? So Vasishtha tells that the inauspicious sign means some problem, some trouble is going to come on the way. But the auspicious sign also indicates that that trouble will pass by without causing any harm. So as this all auspicious, inauspicious signs are going on, what were these signs actually indicating for? So these signs were indicating the arrival of Parshuramji. Parshuram, because of breaking of that Shiva Dhanush, Parshuram is arriving there on that way. But now there is a difference how Goswami Tulsidas ji write in Ramcharitmanas and how Valmiki ji is describing. In Ramcharitmanas it mentions that Parshuram ji immediately appeared there as soon as Lord Ram broke that Shiva Dhanush. And Valmiki ji is describing Parshuram ji came while Bharat is returning back on the way. And it took almost maybe 6 months from the incident of breaking that Shiva Dhanush. Because after breaking of Shiva Dhanush, 3 days it took the messenger to go to Ayodhya. And then after that 4 days it took Dasharatha Maharaj to come to Mithilapuri. And after that they found the Muhurat and when the wedding ceremony will be done. And then after that, the Janak Maharaj will hold them. Right? He doesn't want the Bharat to leave back. So long duration passed by. So why such big difference in these two descriptions? So let's analyze that a little bit and try to understand that. So first reason we should understand this is Kalpa Bhed. Right? To understand the differences based on Kalpa Bhed. Because Lord Ram appears every Kalpa, he does his Leela, and there is a variety, there is a difference. It's not like a cookie cutter, every time it happens exactly same way. So there is little variety. And from another analytical point of view, why Goswami is describing that Parshuramji came immediately there? Because Parshuram can travel at the speed of mind. As soon as Shiva Dhanush is broken, Parshuram came to know and he immediately appeared there. So that is the reason how Goswami is writing that. And in Valmiki Ramayana, why Valmiki is describing this way? Because Lord Ramachandra has a different purpose. When Bharat is returning back to Ayodhya, 6 people are very happy. Who are these 6 people? So Lord Ramachandra is very happy. He is Anandamay. He is always happy, no matter what. Then Lakshmanji is very happy. And the 4 sisters, Sita, Urmila, Mandavi, Shrutkirti, they are very happy. Everybody else is little morose. Why? Because Lakshmanji is telling everybody, you saw this wedding, you saw this Bharat, you saw all the Aishwarya, all the great festivities of the wedding ceremony, but you did not see the most wonderful thing. What was that most wonderful thing? Ramji lifting that Shiva Dhanush and breaking that Shiva Dhanush. That was the most wonderful thing. See, all these great warriors have tried earlier and they could not even budge that Shiva Dhanush. They could not even move that Shiva Dhanush. And Ramachandra, by just touching that bow, he lifted up that bow and broke that bow. So that was the most wonderful. Seeing that Prakrama of Lord Ramachandra. So you guys missed that most important thing. So everybody is feeling a little more sadness because of that. And Sita ji is telling Ramchandra, see, everybody is so morose, they are feeling sad. And if this way they reach Ayodhya, what will the people of Ayodhya think? That the Janakpuri, the people of Janakpur, they did not serve them nicely. उन्होंने इनका आभगत अच्छे से नहीं किया, इनका आदर सत्कार अच्छे से नहीं हुआ. So ultimately the blame will go on my father. So you please do something. So Ramchandra said, okay, don't worry. So to make all the Ayodhya Vasis happy, to show his that same prakram, what Lord Ramchandra showed in Janakpuri, for that purpose Parshuram arrived while Bharat is returning back to Ayodhya. And at that time Parshuram arrived. And as soon as Parshuram arrived, actually everybody became so afraid. They were so scared. Even Dashrath Maharaj was so afraid. Why? Because Parshuram is known for killing the Kshatriyas. He has earlier done Nakshatri 21 times, killing all the Kshatriyas from the face of earth. So Parshuram arrived there, and how does Parshuram look like? Dadharsha Bhimam Sankasham Jatamandala Dharinam Bhargavam Jamdagnyam Tam Raja Rajavimardhanam. Tam Raja Rajavimardhanam. Parshuram is known for breaking the pride of all the kings. So Dashrath Maharaj was also very afraid, and as soon as he saw Parshuram, he came forward and paid obeisances to Parshuram, and Parshuram is asking, who had broken the Shiva Dhanush? Let that person come in front of me. Make that person come stand in front of me. As if Parshuram doesn't know who has broken the Shiva Dhanush. So it's just Parshuram is saying, let that person come and face me. He has shown his strength by lifting that Shiva Dhanush. Let him show this strength by lifting this Vaishnava Dhanush now. Because as I described last time, there are two bows. One is Shiva Dhanush, one is Vaishnava Dhanush. Vishwakarma he manufactured two bows. One was given to Lord Shiva, another was given to Lord Vishnu. So the Dhanush which was given to Lord Shiva gave that in the family lineage of Janak Maharaj. So since that time it was in Janakpur and was being worshipped there. The second Dhanush was with Lord Shiva. That Dhanusha was given to the family lineage of Parshuram. A Jamdagni had that, and from Jamdagni, Parshuram got that bow. So Parshuram is showing his Vaishnava Dhanush. Show me your strength, show me your prakram, lift this Vaishnava Dhanush. Dashrath Maharaj is becoming very afraid that if Parshuram become angry and if he kills everybody, what will happen? At that time, again and again, Dashrath Maharaj is trying to pacify Parshuram, and he is again and again telling, show me your prakram, show me your prakram. And at that time, finally Lord Ramachandra came forward. Lord Ramachandra said, this is not our culture to show off. But because you are insisting, you are telling again and again, show me your prakram, show me your strength. And now that's why, just see my strength. Veerahinam mimakshaktam shatra dharmena bhargava avajanasi me teja pashya medhya prakarama. Because you are telling again and again, show me, show me, show me. Now because of that, I am going to show my strength. So Lord Ramachandra immediately picked up the Vaishnava Dhanush from the hands of Parshuram. Very easily this Vaishnava Dhanush went to Parshuram. And at that time, Parshuram was able to realize who is Lord Ramachandra actually. He is none other than the Supreme Lord who has appeared to destroy all the demonic forces. Parshuram saw that Shrivatsa Rekha on the chest of Lord Ramachandra, which is the sign of the residence of Lakshmi Devi there. And he saw the footstep, the footprint of Bhrigu Rishi on the chest of the Lord, because Bhrigu once kicked the chest of Lord. So that print was there. So Parshuram saw that and he understood he is none other than the Supreme Lord. So at that time, Parshuram finally gave up his anger and he gave that Vaishnava Dhanush to the Lord, and he basically Parshuram gave up Shastra and took up Shastra. So he gave up Shastra and took up Shastra. Now it's my time to give up this Shastra. See, earlier Parshuram was holding Shastra, but later he went and he took the task of training, took the task of teaching. And at that time Lord Ramachandra asked, now because I have lifted this Dhanush and I have put this arrow on this bow, it cannot go empty. Should I destroy all your punya or should I destroy your strength to move freely? आपके आवागमन की शक्ति को नष्ट करूं या आपके जो अर्जित पुण्य है उनको नष्ट करूं? So Parshuram said, please do not destroy my strength of moving, because I cannot stay on earth. When I killed all the Kshatriyas, I gave this earth to Brahmanas. And the Brahmanas told me one thing, you cannot stay on this earth anymore. So since then I reside on Mahendra Parvat. So please do not destroy my strength to travel. If you want, you can destroy all my Arjit Punya, my accumulated fires. So Lord Ramachandra shot that arrow and destroyed all that Arjit Punya. And after that, Parshuram went back to Mahendra Parvat, and Lord Ram, now the whole Bharat traveled back to Ayodhya. So at that time, everybody became happy when they saw the prakram of Lord Ramachandra. Now all the Ayodhya Vasis, all the other people are telling Lakshman ji, अब तो हम बराबर हो गए. आपने भी देखा जनकपुरी में, you saw that Shiva Dhanush, lifting of Shiva Dhanush and breaking that. We also saw that now. Now we are equal. लक्ष्मण जी बोले ऐसे कैसे बराबर हो गए? आपने एक धनुष उठाते देखा, मैंने दो देखे. मैंने शिव धनुष भी देखा, वैष्णव धनुष भी देखा. So Lakshman ji is always one step ahead. So finally the Bharat reached back. Now the point to learn here, basically, since the time Lord Ramachandra left his home from Ayodhya, and by the time he came back to Ayodhya with Sita Devi, for Lord Ram and Sita to become together, what was needed in between? Sita is Bhakti Devi. So Bhakti Devi के माध्यम से भगवान को प्राप्त करने के लिए, to get the Lord by the means of bhakti, what is needed in between? So when Lord Ramachandra left Ayodhya, what was the first thing which happened? When Lord Ramachandra is traveling to the ashram of Vishwamitra, the first thing happened was killing of Tadaka. So killing of Tadaka, what does it represent? I mentioned Tadaka symbolizes Durasha, the wrong expectations, wrong desires. Sometimes we have so many wrong expectations and desires from other people. So removing those wrong expectations and having only one expectation with the Supreme Lord. एक आशा राम जी से दूजी आशा तोड़ दे. एक आशा राम जी से दूजी आशा छोड़ दे. एक नाता राम जी से दूजा नाता तोड़ दे. So having only one, that expectation, that relation with the Supreme Lord. So killing of Tadaka represents removing that Durasha, means purifying our mind. So man ki pavitrata. The second thing which happened after Lord Ramachandra protected the yajna of Vishwamitra, they travelled to Janakpuri. On the way, Lord Ramachandra delivered Ahilya. What does Ahilya represent? Anybody remembers what does Ahilya represent? Ahilya represents intelligence. Right? We discussed that. Ahilya, intelligence, was contaminated by Indra with the help of Chandra. Indra represents senses and Chandra represents mind. Our intelligence is corrupted by our senses and our mind. So Ahilya represents intelligence. Deliverance of Ahilya represents purification of intelligence. Buddhi ki pavitrata. So first thing is purification of mind, man ki pavitrata. Second thing is purification of intelligence, buddhi ki pavitrata. Third thing which happened was breaking of Shivadhanush. Shivadhanush represents false ego. See, Lord Shiva, he is the master of false ego. जो भगवान शिव हैं वो अहंकार के अधिष्ठात्र देव हैं. And this Shiva Dhanush represents that false ego. So what is our false ego? Misidentification. We identify with this body. But really we are not this body, we are the spirit soul. We are not something. We identify with this body, and based on this body we think I am Indian, I am American, I am black, I am white, I am this, I am that. So all these are based on bodily designation. So breaking of Shiva Dhanush represents removing of that false ego. And then the fourth thing happened on the way, taking that Vaishnava Dhanush. Vaishnava Dhanush goes to Lord Ramachandra. This Vaishnava Dhanush represents Chitta, our consciousness. And going of Vaishnava Dhanush to Lord Ramachandra represents our consciousness naturally flowing towards Lord Ramachandra. So when these four things happen, that's the meaning of receiving Lord Ramachandra in our heart by the medium of bhakti. Purification of mind, purification of intelligence, removing our false ego, and then when our consciousness naturally starts to flow towards the Lord. Nobody has to tell us. In the beginning what happens? We have to keep telling. Please chant the holy name. Please come to Katha. Please listen holy name, holy Katha, Ram Katha, Krishna Katha, Hari Katha. Please come to the temple. So we keep telling. So earlier we will be doing it by force. Somebody has to tell us constantly. But when our consciousness naturally starts to flow towards the Lord, when we have developed that natural attraction towards the Lord, that is our chitta going towards the Lord automatically. When these four things happen, then we receive Lord Ramachandra in our heart. That is the union of bhakti with Bhagavan. So Lord Ramachandra arrived back in Ayodhya, and the whole city of Ayodhya started rejoicing. There was a festival time in Ayodhya. All the mothers, Mother Kekai, Kaushalya, Sumitra, they received all the daughter-in-laws. They gave nice gifts to all the daughters. Actually, Mother Kekai, what were her bhava? She was telling Dasharatha Maharaj immediately left to Janakpuri for the wedding, and no arrangement was done for the new daughter-in-law's arrival. Where will they come? Where will they stay? All that arrangement was not done. And Kekai, when she saw Sita Devi, she was so attracted, she was so pleased by the behavior of Sita Devi, by her beauty, by her culture, the way she was dressed, her maryada, her sheel. Because of that, Kekai was so attracted and so pleased. And Kekai immediately took the keys of her Kanak Bhavan and gave to Sita as Muh Dikhai. Right? Generally mothers, when they first time see the face of the daughter-in-law, they will give some gift. So Kekai gave her Kanak Bhavan as gift to Sita Devi. Aaj se ye Kanak Bhavan tumhara hua. Mother Sumitra, she gave one nice chudamani to Sita Devi as a gift. I heard actually this is the same chudamani which Mother Sita gave to Hanuman as an indication to give to Lord Ramachandra, that Hanuman has met Sita Devi. And Mother Kaushalya, she is thinking, what can I give? Actually, Mother Kaushalya had arranged for a very nice, beautiful necklace to give as a gift to Sita Devi. But when she saw Sita Devi, her beauty, Kaushalya is thinking, this is not something acceptable, eligible for Sita. Bhakti, how can we please Bhakti? Bhakti cannot be pleased by any material gifts actually. So Kaushalya, she called Ramachandra, Ram, come here. And Kaushalya Devi took the hand of Lord Ramachandra and gave in the hand of Sita Devi. Today I give my Neelamani, I give the jewel of my heart to you. आज से राम तुम्हारा. That was the bhav of Kaushalya Devi. There are so many lessons to learn from each and every step. Actually, we don't have that time to go into the details, the intricacies of each and every statement. Just to understand one thing, when the wedding happens, when the daughter-in-law comes home, she also has full right on the husband, on her husband. But if the mother keep thinking, oh, my son should be abiding by me, and she is always becoming as an obstacle in the relation between husband and wife, then that's also not nice. That causes so many problems. So from each and every small things here, there are so many lessons to learn actually for us. And at that time, the whole city of Ayodhya is rejoicing, and that celebration went on for not days, weeks, months, for years actually. So Lord Ramachandra stayed in Ayodhya for how long after wedding, after they came back to Ayodhya? Anybody knows? 1 year. Okay. Anybody else? So 1 year 1 year 2, 1 year 3. So actually, Lord Ramachandra, Mother Sita, they stayed in Ayodhya for 11 years after their wedding. So little trivias for everybody to know. At what age Lord Ramachandra married? At the age of 16 years. And how old was Sita Devi at that time? She is 9 years. So Sita Devi is just 9 years of age. And Lord Ramachandra was 16 years. And they stayed in Ayodhya for 11 years. So when Lord Ramachandra was exiled to forest, he was 27. And two places actually in Valmiki Ramayana, the indirect way this calculation is mentioned. When Ravana comes to kidnap Sita Devi, he asks, right, who are you and whose daughter are you and all that. At that time Sita mentions, I am the daughter of Maharaj Janak, and at this age I was married. And when Lord Ramachandra came back, he became the king of Ayodhya after 14 years of exile. So Lord Ramachandra, Rajyabhishek happened when he was 41. Okay? So from all this calculation, you can do the reverse calculation. So they stayed in Ayodhya for 11 years. And brother of Kekai had come from Kekaya Desh to take Bharat with him. So Dashrath Maharaj sent Bharat and Shatrughan along with Mandavi Shutkirti. They went to Kekaya Desh. And in Ayodhya, the whole celebration is going on. Everybody is rejoicing. पूरे अवध में, पूरी अयोध्या में पूरा उत्सव चल रहा है. And it says actually when there is too much happiness, that also becomes the cause of misery. जब ते राम ब्याहि घर आए, नित नव मंगल मोद बधाए. Since Lord Ramachandra came back to Ayodhya after getting married, there was every day a celebration in Ayodhya. So there was so much happiness, and that became the reason of Lord Ramachandra's exile to forest. Indirectly. Say, ati of anything is not good. At ka bhala na bolna, at ki bhali na chup. At ka bhala na barsana, at ki bhali na dhoop. If somebody speaks too much, that's also not good. And because somebody is speaking too much, they don't let anybody else give a chance for them to speak. And if somebody is too quiet, if they don't speak at all, if they don't express them at all, and sometimes if some injustice is happening in front of them, still they do not say anything, that is also not good. So, atta ka bhala na bolna, atta ki bhali na chu. Atta ka bhala na barsana. We look forward to rain. The farmers, they sometimes depend on rain. But sometimes if it's too much rain, that's also not good. That destroys all their crop. So, atta ka bhala na barsana, atta ki bhali na dhoop. in the summer, in the winter season, we look forward to summer, look forward to sunshine. But in summer, if there's too much heat, people get sunstroke also. So too much heat, too much sunshine is also not good, depends on the weather. So excess of anything is not good. अगर कोई चीज बहुत ज्यादा हो जाए तो वो भी अच्छी नहीं है. Same way, too much happiness in life is also not good, because of the too much happiness, ultimately it brings misfortune in life. Why? Because if there is so much opulence, so much happiness in life, people are so much engaged in their sense enjoyment, and dharma leaves from their life. Did I mention this earlier? Like people who are too rich, who have too much wealth, they engage in all sort of wrong activities, isn't it? You look at pubs, casinos, all these big malls. Who goes there? Does the poor person go there or the rich person go there? So all these wrong activities, the illicit relation, the meat eating, intoxication and all that, the people who have too much access to wealth and opulence, they engage more in those kind of activities. So when somebody has too much of opulence, sometimes the dharma leaves from their life. And Lord Ramachandra, what does Lord Ramachandra represents? That is dharma. Dharma leaving from our life, that is Rama Vanvas. So Ayodhya में बहुत ज़्यादा आनंद छा गया. That's why I say sometimes we should have little bit misery also in life, little bit pain, little bit trouble in life also. We should pray to the Lord, please give me some little trouble, so that I will always remember you. बोलते ना कि कष्ट में ईष्ट याद आता है. जब हमें थोड़ा सा कष्ट होता है, then we remember the Lord. Kunti Devi is actually praying for that. Let the troubles come more and more. Let there be more misery in my life. Why? Because whenever there is little misery, then you are always here for us, to save us, to protect us. And we have the opportunity to see you face to face. That is the reason Kunti Devi is saying, let there be more miseries. Because if it's always happiness, then we forget the Lord. दुख में सिमरन सब करे, सुख में करे न कोई. सुख में जो सिमरन करे तो दुख का ही कोई. So अयोध्या में पूरा आनंद छा गया. One time Dashrath Maharaj was sitting in his assembly with all the ministers and everybody. And Dashrath Maharaj actually, he had consulted his priest, his brahmanas, his gurus earlier. Dashrath Maharaj had this mood, I want to now give up this kingdom and establish Ram as the king of Ayodhya. So he consulted his priest. And the priest told, actually we can see for next 14 years, there is no auspicious muhurat, there is no shubh muhurat for Ram's Rajyabhishek. अगले 14 वर्ष तक राम का राज्याभिषेक करने का कोई मुहूर्त नहीं है. Dashrath Maharaj became very afraid. He said, my life's ultimate goal, the only my desire left is to establish Ram as the king. And you are telling there is no muhurta for next 14 years. The priest said, actually, tomorrow itself, tomorrow morning, there is one little छोटा सा एक मुहूर्त है, पुष्य नक्षत्र. अगर उसमें आप राम का राज्याभिषेक कर दें, if you do Ram's राज्याभिषेक, that time only then it's possible. Otherwise, for next 14 years, there is no muhurta for Ram to become the king. And Dashrath Maharaj actually was very afraid. He was thinking, what if I lose my life by that time and I cannot even see Ram becoming the king? So Dashrath Maharaj had that thought, I want to establish Ram as the king, be it tomorrow itself. So Dashrath Maharaj was sitting in his assembly, surrounded by all the ministers, and everybody is praising Dashrath Maharaj. You are so glorious, you are so magnanimous, you are so fortunate. You got 4 sons who are so powerful, who are so obedient, and now you got 4 daughter-in-laws also. So how fortunate you are. तो सब लोग दशरथ महाराज की वाह वाह कर रहे थे। जो राजा महाराजा लोग होते हैं, ऑल द किंग्स एंड बिग पीपल, दे रिसीव सो मच ग्लोरिफिकेशन। And what is this glorification actually? And how? What should we do when we receive glorification? Sometimes people glorify, oh, you are so wonderful. Mataji, you are so great, you sing so nicely. Oh, Prabhuji, you speak so nicely, you cook so nicely. So people glorify. And when somebody glorifies, what happens? Immediately some pride comes in their heart. Oh wow, finally you recognized. Or bolo, speak more. Finally you understood my greatness. But what should we do actually if somebody is glorifying? We should understand what is this glory actually. Today somebody is glorifying. Tomorrow that same person may criticize also. आज जो व्यक्ति आपका मान कर रहा है, कल वही व्यक्ति आपका निंदा भी कर सकता है। आज जो व्यक्ति आपकी स्तुति कर रहा है, कल वही व्यक्ति निंदा कर सकता है। So one should not take too seriously this glorification. One should think actually, who am I? All this glorification which is happening, that's Lord's arrangement. Lord is giving me little ability. Because of that I am able to do this. So this is all Lord's mercy only. So one should always remember this glory which is coming today, it may disappear at any time. ये वाह कब हवा बनकर उड़ जाए, you never know. I generally give this example, गुब्बारा, right? You have the balloon. When you fill the air in the balloon, what happens? That balloon rises from the ground. तो वो गुब्बारा हवा में ऊपर उठता है, क्योंकि उस गुब्बारे के अंदर हवा भरा तो वो जमीन से ऊपर उठा. That is our situation also. When somebody says, "Wow, Prabhuji, wow," तो हमारे अंदर थोड़ा हवा भर गया, and we leave that ground. हम लोग हवा में थोड़ा ऊपर उठते हैं, और वो हवा कब निकल जाए, कब धड़ाम से आकर जमीन पर गिरे, पता नहीं चलेगा. When we will fall down on the ground. So never get too hyped up by this glorification. Oh, yes, I am so glorious, I am so wonderful. Always one should remember, actually I am so fallen. Ultimately, this is all because of Guru and Krishna, who are giving me this little ability to do this responsibility, do this duty. And all this glorification is actually for the Guru and Gauranga. So Dasharath Maharaj did not take that glorification too seriously. What did Dasharath Maharaj do? Dasharath Maharaj called for a mirror. Dasharath Maharaj ने एक दर्पण मंगाया. दर्पण, very beautiful word actually. If you split that word darpan, what does it mean? Darpana. Darpa means pride, command. Darpana, do not become proud. Command mat karo, darp mat karo. So when somebody is glorifying, when somebody speaks your praise, glorification, one should not become proud of that. One should immediately do introspection. उसी समय दर्पण देखना. Just look into the mirror. What is this mirror? Mirror means introspection. अपना आत्म निरीक्षण करना. Who am I really? Today this glorification is happening. Actually, I am not recipient of this glorification. This is Guru and Gauranga for whom this glorification is. So Dasharath Maharaj immediately looked at Darpan. उन्होंने मिरर देखा, दर्पण देखा. So अयोध्या की जो संस्कृति है, what is that संस्कृति? अयोध्या संस्कृति दर्पण की संस्कृति. जो अयोध्या की संस्कृति है वो दर्पण की संस्कृति. चित्रकूट की संस्कृति वो है अर्पण की संस्कृति. So everybody understand little Hindi? Is it okay? Because sometimes I mix little Hindi here. Because these things saying in English doesn't bring that same mood, same bhav, same rasa. So अयोध्या की जो संस्कृति है वो है दर्पण की संस्कृति, आत्म निरीक्षण करना. चित्रकूट की संस्कृति वो है अर्पण की संस्कृति. When Bharatji came to Chitrakoot to bring Lord Ramachandra back to Ayodhya, ultimately Bharatji, he thought, actually, I am the servant of Lord Ramachandra, and the servant should not ask for his desire, what pleases the servant. Servant should be always willing to do what pleases the master. So at that time, Bharatji, he surrendered in front of Lord Ramachandra. उन्होंने अपने आप को रामचंद्र जी के सामने अर्पण कर दिया. So चित्रकूट की जो सभ्यता है वो अर्पण की सभ्यता. And what is the Sanskriti of Lanka? अयोध्या की संस्कृति, दर्पण की संस्कृति, चित्रकूट की संस्कृति, अर्पण की, लंका की संस्कृति है भक्षण की. If Ram would have seen that mirror, Ravana would have seen that mirror. अगर रावण ने अपना आत्म निरीक्षण किया होता तो वो भी साधु बन गया होता. But what was the संस्कृति of Lanka? Kidnap somebody, kill somebody, किसी से छीन लिया, किसी से लूट लिया, किसी को मार दिया. That is the संस्कृति of Lanka. So that is the difference. Dashrath Maharaj immediately he looked at the mirror, he did introspection. And Dashrath Maharaj saw some white hair. He was thinking, actually I have wasted all my life in all these material activities, taking care of the kingdom, taking care of this, enjoying the opulences. Actually I have not fulfilled the real purpose of my life. Now at this last stage, I should go to forest. Actually I should fulfill the real goal of life. दशरथ महाराज को दो चार यहाँ पर सफेद बाल दिखाई पड़े. And he is thinking, I have not fulfilled the actual purpose of my life. Now just consider general situation. What happens? You look at the mirror, you saw a couple of white hair. What will be the thought immediately? Let me dye the hair. So people just take little dye, that brush, and put little black color and think, अभी तो मैं जवान हूँ, अभी तो enjoy करने का time है, now it's my time to enjoy. When will we get that stage? When will we come to that stage when we have that introspection? Actually, I have wasted all these years. I'm too late. One Prabhuji was here before we started the class. They just came to visit. And he was telling, actually, I am late. Is it just for saying that I am late? Or do we really mean that? Like, do we really mean that I am late? If you really mean I am late, then what will happen? Then you will understand the urgency and take to the process of Krishna consciousness with utmost sincerity. But we can say, yeah, I am late, or I have spent all these years. But still, life is going same way. We are still, there is no change in the life, there is no change in lifestyle. We are not taking to the process of Krishna consciousness seriously. What is the use then? So understanding the urgency, we are in an emergency situation. So this material world is like the forest fire, and Krishna consciousness is like the ambulance. If there is a forest fire, you will call that 911. Right? If there is a fire in somebody's house or something, they will immediately call 911. That's an emergency situation. It's the same way with this human form of life I have got now. This is urgency. This material world is like a forest fire, and this Krishna consciousness movement for us is like the ambulance. And we should take to this process very seriously. So people just ignore. Even when the old age comes, they still not behave appropriate as per the age. See, a young person, a child may think, first youth will come, then old age will come, and then death will come. And generally people think like that. अभी मैं बच्चा हूँ, पहले जवानी आएगी, फिर बुढ़ापा आएगा, फिर मृत्यु आएगी. If somebody is in their youth, they may think first old age will come, then death will come. If somebody is already old, what is left for them now? Next is death only then. But can death come only after old age? Death can come at any time. Is there a guarantee a 2-year, 5-year, 10-year-old child cannot die? We have seen that in the world in this COVID situation and in general also, people can die at any time. So there is no guarantee how old the life is. Once one reporter asked Prabhupada, you are giving this sannyas to the young people. They are wearing saffron clothes, carrying this danda, taking sannyas. Actually this is for old people. जब लोग बूढ़े हो जाएं तब वो संन्यास लेते हैं, तब वो घर से बाहर जाते हैं, वानप्रस्थ लेते हैं. You are giving sannyas to young people. And Prabhupada asked, what is the definition of being old? And that person said, when somebody is about to die, is there a guarantee that you will not die tomorrow? Is there a guarantee that only somebody who is 100-year-old he will die? A 5-year-old child, a 20-year-old person cannot die? So death can come at any time and we should accept that reality and prepare ourselves for that. But people are so ignorant that we have given up all our sense of understanding, sense of urgency, that we just continue with this lifestyle. So Dasharath Maharaj thought, I have passed all my life like this, now I want to fulfill the ultimate goal of my life. One person once went to a sadhu. He asked the sadhu, I want to know how to become free. How to become free from the bondage. And the sadhu asked, you just want to know how to become free or you want to become free? Because there is a difference. तुम सिर्फ जानना चाहते हो कि मुक्त कैसे होना है या मुक्त होना चाहते हो? He said, no, I want to become free. Then the sadhu said, do these two things immediately. If you really want to become free, do these things. ये दो चीजें immediately कर डालो. What are these two things? पहली चीज तो किसी का कुछ देना है तो उसको देके खत्म करो. If you need to give something to somebody, give that and just get done with that. And second thing is, stop taking anything from anybody. जिसका जो देना है उसको देके खत्म करो और ये लेना बंद कर दो. Then you can become free. But in this world, in the current situation, what is our situation actually? Everybody is in the mode of receiving. We are overburdened by so many type of debt. Everybody is living in this world today using plastic money. Buy a house, for that there is loan, 15-year loan, 30-year loan, people take 30-year loan, and until the age of 60, 70 they are paying off their mortgage. Then car loan, then even these days for vacation also there is loan. Oh, you want to go for vacation, you want to enjoy, we'll give you loan for that. For holidays also there is loan these days. You want to celebrate the holidays, you want to give gifts to others, for that also we'll give you loan. So आजकल तो पूरी जिंदगी उधार की जिंदगी है. Everybody is using this plastic money, credit cards, and just keep paying those debts. Where is the scope of getting free actually? There are very few people who have realized this and they never actually take any sort of loan in their life. In our culture actually, in India earlier, somebody taking a debt was considered very, very bad. अगर किसी को घर के लिए लोन लेना है, किसी और चीज के लिए लोन लेना है, they were considered something they are selling off their life. So just manage based on what you have. But now the lifestyle, the whole lifestyle has become like that. Without taking loan, without taking debt, the life is not possible. So coming back to our point here, Dasharath Maharaj, he took the decision that I want to make Ram as a king, and tomorrow itself I want to make Ram king. So he informed all the ministers, actually this is my desire, what do you all think about this? आप सबका इस बारे में क्या विचार है? So as soon as Dasharath Maharaj expressed his desire, I want to make Ram as the king, all the ministers immediately became very happy. They all started rejoicing. Very good decision, very good decision. Immediately, yes, you have taken the right decision. Immediately make Ram as the king. And Dashrath Maharaj thought, externally he is expressing for a minute. He is happy actually, seeing the reaction of all the people, all the ministers, just to hear the glories of Lord Ramachandra from their mouth. Externally, Dashrath Maharaj is expressing as if he is thinking, are you not happy with me? I have been the king of Ayodhya for so long. Am I not taking care of all the citizens, all this city nicely that you are so eager to make Ram as the king? That immediately you all started saying, yes, yes, make Ram as the king. So Dashrath Maharaj actually wanted to hear the glories of Ramachandra. So when Dashrath Maharaj expressed like that, all the ministers started saying, no, no, actually, you are the cause because of which we got Ramachandra. Right? Because of we got Ramachandra in our life. So it's that Ramachandra, he has so many great qualities. Because of that, we want Ram to become the king. And Dashrath Maharaj also is not making Ram as the king because he is the elder son. ऐसा नहीं है कि राम ज्येष्ठ पुत्र है इसलिए उनको राजा बनाया जा रहा है. आयु में ज्येष्ठ की वजह से नहीं, क्योंकि वो गुण में ज्येष्ठ है, गुण में श्रेष्ठ है. He is so great in all the qualities. That's why Dashrath want to make him the king. And that's why all the ministers want to have Ram as their king. So Dashrath Maharaj say, okay, what are the qualities of Ramachandra? Tell me some qualities. So the ministers, they tell some of the qualities of Lord Ramachandra. That Ram is so sweet spoken, Madhura Bhashi. Ramachandra, he speaks so softly, so sweetly to everybody. Even if somebody sometimes says some bad words, sometimes shows anger in front of Ramachandra, he does not accept, does not take that, and he just speaks very politely with everybody. अगर कोई उनसे कभी उनके सामने क्रोध में भी बात करे, तब भी राम उसका उत्तर नहीं देते. Either he will keep quiet or he will speak nicely, politely, sweetly. So that is one quality. Like in Bhagavad Gita, there is austerity of speech. That Krishna talked about austerity of speech. What is that austerity of speech? Speaking sweet words to everybody. It's like, so if somebody speak bad to you, not accepting that and not serving others also that. It's just like you have fast, right? You are fasting. Like आपका एकादशी का व्रत है और नवरात्रि का व्रत है. Sometimes people do fasting on certain food types that I am not going to eat these things. So when you are not eating particular type of food, you don't want to serve others also that. Right? The same way, you don't want to accept the harsh words and you don't want to serve others also harsh words. So that is the austerity of speech. So Ram is very soft spoken, polite speaking. And what is the other quality of Ramachandra? Ramachandra does not envy anybody. He doesn't have that quality of being envious towards Anusuya. So in the first qualities, when Valmiki has mentioned those qualities, we talked about that. One of the quality was Anusuyava. He does not have envy in the heart. He does not do envy towards anybody. In this world, we see everybody has to some degree, big or small, somewhere some envy is there. And what is that envy? When we see somebody having more than us, we envy that person. Why that person has? Why I do not have that? I wish that that person loses it and I have that. So that is envy. Lord Ramachandra has no envy of whatsoever in his heart. And the other greatest quality of Lord Ramachandra, which the ministers are telling, that Ramachandra, if somebody do any favor to Ramachandra, he never forgets that. And what if Ramachandra does any favor on somebody, he does not remember that. Even if somebody does one small favor, किसी ने रामचंद्र जी के ऊपर छोटा सा कुछ उपकार किया तो वो उसको हमेशा याद रखेंगे that I am indebted towards you. See, Sugriva helped Ramachandra, right? in the war to attack on Lanka. Even though Lord Ramachandra had already given so much to Sugriv, he killed Bali and made Sugriv the king of Kishkinda. First, Lord Ramachandra did that favor to Sugriv, and then Sugriv, he sent his whole army to search for Mother Sita and came and attacked on Lanka. And Lord Ramachandra is thinking, how can I pay back for that debt, what Sugriv has done for me? And when Lord Ramachandra returned back to Ayodhya after 14 years, after killing Ravana, and Lord Ramachandra's Rajyabhishek is to happen, and as Lord Ramachandra returned back, actually Bharatji has built a very nice palace for Ramachandra. Bharat had built a very nice palace for Ramachandra and gave as a gift to Ramachandra. And Ramachandra told Bharat, if you really love me, can you do one favor for me? I want you to give this palace as a gift to Sugriv. Sugriv has done so much for me. वो वन भड़के इस सब पूरे युद्ध में मेरे साथ रहे. He has done so much for me. I want you to give this best of the opulences to Sugriv. So in Ayodhya, that Sugriv Kila, that palace became known as Sugriv Kila, which was earlier built for Ramachandra, but Ramachandra gave that to Sugriv. So that is still there in Ayodhya, known as Sugriv Kila. So that is the nature of Ramachandra. If somebody does some favor, he never forgets that. And he never remembers any favor he has done on somebody. The two things actually, the scripture says, the two things we should never remember and the two things we should never forget. Anybody knows what are the two things we should never remember? Good that we have done to somebody. Any favor we have done to somebody, किसी के ऊपर आपने कुछ उपकार किया है, never remember that. And somebody has spoken harsh to you, never remember that. किसी ने आपको आपका अपमान किया, आपको भला बुरा बोला, forget that, don't remember that. So these two things we should never remember. So these two things should be like a line on the sand. If the water comes, it will wipe off that. And the two things we should always remember. If somebody has done favor on us, should always remember that. किसी ने हमारे ऊपर उपकार किया है, उसको कभी मत भूलना. And you have spoken some harsh to somebody. If you have insulted somebody, always remember that. Always take a lesson from that. So that should be like a line on the stone. पत्थर के ऊपर एक लकीर की तरह होना चाहिए. So these two things which we should never remember and two things which we should always remember. And generally, if somebody does a favor on us, what is our mentality? कि आज उसने मेरे ऊपर उपकार किया है, he has done some favor on me, tomorrow I will pay off. कल मैं उसके ऊपर उपकार करूंगा. We are generally indirectly praying to the Lord. Maybe he gets into some difficulty, then I will help him. Right? That's what it means. आज उसने मेरी सहायता की, कल मैं उसकी सहायता कर दूंगा. So indirectly we are saying, maybe tomorrow he will be in some problem and I will help him. So unknowingly we have wished for his bad. So never we should actually have that type of thought. We should think, today he has helped me, I pray that he never needs my help. So all the ministers are telling these wonderful qualities of Ramachandra, and Dashrath Maharaj is becoming very happy. Yes, I want to make Ram as the king tomorrow. And he tells all the ministers, all the servants, all the brahmanas, please make arrangements. Kal subha hi, tomorrow morning, Pushya Nakshatra, we will do Rajyabhishek of Ramachandra. And I told what was the reason why Dashrath Maharaj is so much rush. Otherwise, this is one of the biggest event of his life. Right? He will do with such a nice preparation. He will invite everybody from the whole world, all the kings, all the relatives. He will invite Janak Maharaj. He will invite his brother-in-law from Kekaya Desh. He will wait for Bharat and Shatrughan to come back. But Dashrath Maharaj is saying, no, tomorrow morning we will do Rajyabhishek. Dashrath Maharaj is saying, I want to do it immediately. I don't want to wait. That is another very important lesson for us. If we want to do something good in life, we should take the decision to do that immediately. Don't wait for the time to come that okay, kal karenge, parso karenge, I will do it tomorrow, I will do it day after tomorrow, I will do week after, month after. I want to wait for the right muhurat. Do not wait for that. Because what is going to happen tomorrow, who knows? The day which has passed, right? The past is like a dead matter, and the future is in darkness. Nobody knows the future. जो कल बीत गया वो गड़ा मुर्दा है, जो आने वाला कल है वो अंधकार में है. We don't know what is going to happen tomorrow, and whatever has happened yesterday, we cannot do anything about that now. But people generally, they just stay in the past or future. Either people are lamenting about the past or hankering for the future. अगर मैंने ऐसा कर लिया होता तो आज ऐसा होता. If I could have done that way, then my present situation will be different. अरे बाबा वो बीत गया. Now there is nothing you can do about that. And the future is not in your control either. Tomorrow what is going to happen? Tomorrow maybe there is a tsunami, there is an earthquake, there is some other COVID virus going to come, a next generation of that COVID virus. Some terrorist attack is going to happen. What is going to happen? Are we going to wake up tomorrow morning or not? Who knows? But people keep waiting. We tell, please come to temple, please come to the program, please chant the holy name. I will do it tomorrow. I will do it week after. I will do it month after. What are you waiting for? So we should take to this process immediately. Don't wait for any time, anything. As it says, like, कल करे सो आज कर, आज करे सो अब. बहुरी पछताए होत गया जब बीत गया. And then people think, people have their other philosophy. What do people say? आज करे सो कल करे सो परसों. इतनी भी क्या जल्दी है जब जीना है इतने बरसों. But we should remember, actually there is no control on the next day, in the future, what is going to happen. We invite people, please come, please come, please come, and people have so many reasons. People have so many excuses. Oh, we have kids activities, or somebody is sick in the family, or thoda khansi जुकाम हो गया. We have this robotics activity going on, and this activity going on, that activity going on. That will all continue. And what is the most important part of the life that we ignore? So we should take to this with utmost urgency. So we spoke of that earlier also. Dashrath Maharaj said, I'm going to make Ram king tomorrow. And as all the preparations are being going on, Vasishtha ji, he tells what all ingredients need to be prepared. And Vasishtha actually instructed Ramachandra. Dashrath Maharaj called Ramachandra in the assembly and informed him, tomorrow morning your Rajyabhishek will be done. You will become the king. And Ramachandra, he is just accepted as the order of his father. He has no happiness in his heart that kal main Raja banne ja raha hu. Right? It's not that he is rejoicing in his heart that tomorrow all these opulences, all this kingdom will be mine. Vasishtha told Ramachandra, actually tomorrow you will be the king. Today night you should observe fasting. You should do austerities. So tonight you are not going to enjoy but perform austerity. Not sleep on the Dunlop pillow, Dunlop bed. You are going to sleep on the Kusha grass bed. आज रात को घास के बिछोने पर विश्राम करना. Just imagine, tomorrow he is going to be the king. And night before he is observing, fasting and performing austerities. Have you seen anybody in this world, let's say tomorrow somebody is going to take the oath of the presidency, Prime Minister, CM, Governor of the country, and day before, night before, they are doing austerities, sleeping on the floor. Generally, what do? Party time. Right? कल तो हम बड़े राजा महाराजा बनने वाले, so it's party time, celebration. But here actually, it says because it's a big responsibility and one need to prepare to take up that big responsibility. Lord Ramachandra is going to do that fasting and that perform that austerity, sleep on that kusha grass bed. भूमि के ऊपर शयन करना. It's a very important point on that actually, because one who is going to become the king, he should understand all different phases of life. Raja, the king, is also known as Bhupal. Bhupal means जो धरती का पालन करता है. So king is also known as Bhupal. And what kind of Bhupal is that who has not done Bhushayan? वो ऐसा राजा क्या जिसने धरती के ऊपर शयन न किया. So that's why Lord Ramachandra is told to perform these austerities. And at that time Dasharath Maharaj goes and he is personally making sure all the arrangements are being done for next morning Rajyabhishek. And when this, and actually all the priests, Dasharath Maharaj's guru and all told, just do it very quietly. Don't make it a big announcement or big celebration. Abhi chupchap dheere se Ram ka Rajyabhishek kar do. And later on you can keep telling everybody. And Dasharath Maharaj actually thought such a big celebration of my life, such a big occasion. I should do at least little bit small announcement. There is one जो नगर के द्वार पर घंटा बांधा हुआ है, तो उसको बजाकर एटलीस्ट आई शुड डू अ लिटिल स्मॉल अनाउंसमेंट इन द सिटी दैट टुमारो मॉर्निंग राम्स राज्याभिषेक विल बी डन. And Dasharath Maharaj made that announcement, and that's what the mistake happened. And everybody came to know. And at that time, actually, when this Dasharath Maharaj made that decision, tomorrow Ram will be the king, all the demigods became anxious. पूरे जो सब देवी देवता थे सब घबरा गए. They were thinking actually Lord came, he took appearance to do our task, to fulfill our task, to kill these demons, to destroy all these demons. But now if Ram becomes the king, if he settles in Ayodhya, then he will never be able to go to the forest and kill all these demoniac people. And what will happen? Then how will our task be fulfilled? All the demigods that became so afraid, they became so anxious, immediately called Saraswati Devi. And they are praying to Saraswati Devi, please you do something. माँ कुछ ऐसा काम करो, भूभार हरण होवे, राम वन को जावे ताकि रावण का मरण होवे. So they are praying to Saraswati Devi, you please make some arrangement that Ram doesn't become the king, that he is sent to forest. And Saraswati Devi, she is telling, what can I do? Actually this Ayodhya, all the people of Ayodhya are so fortunate. I cannot spoil the intelligence of anybody in Ayodhya. Anybody who has drank the water of Sarayu, I cannot spoil their intelligence, their consciousness. Please find somebody. There will be somebody whose intelligence you can turn, जिसकी बुद्धि को आप घुमा सको. Saraswati looked around. One person she found. One person whose intelligence, whose consciousness she could change. Jai Shri Radha Govinda, Jai Shri Nikaya Patita, Jai Shri Prabhupada. So she found this one person. Who was this one person? Manthara. See, all the scripture, they are actually very quiet about mantra. There is not much description about mantra mentioned anywhere. Very minor details of mantra are given. All what is mentioned is mantra. She was the maid servant of Kekai. Actually, वो Kekai की दाई थी. From the childhood, she has taken care of Kekai. तो Kekai को उसने पाल पोस के बड़ा किया था. Kekai की बहुत सिर चढ़ी भी थी. And she has come to Ayodhya from Kekaya Desh as a dowry. वो दहेज में केकई के साथ नहीं आई थी. And she has never drank the water of Sarayu. She has never eaten the salt in Ayodhya. ना तो अयोध्या में सरयू का पानी पिया है, ना ही अयोध्या का उसने नमक खाया है. अगर अयोध्या का नमक खाया होता, she was not able to do what she did. But what lesson actually scriptures are telling here, she was as a dowry who came with the Kekai. And in the scripture there are two personalities which came as dowry and they did the whole destruction. One is Manthara. She came as dowry and destroyed everything. Second person was Shakuni. Shakuni also came as dowry. Shakuni also came with Gandhari when Gandhari was married to Dhritarashtra. Shakuni was so angry. He was so upset with Bhishma that Bhishma forcibly made this arrangement for my sister to marry this blind person. And intentionally he came, he wanted to destroy whole Kaurava dynasty. That was his hidden agenda. So two people came as dowry and destroyed everything. So that's why scripture says, this dowry is very harmful. One should be very careful not to take this dowry. Log आजकल everybody want dowry, right? People want, हमें दहेज में ये चाहिए. We want this much. People think I have made my son educated. I have spent so much money on the education, so now we want to receive. But actually, this dowry has caused so much damage. So without going into too much detail about this, so this mantra, she was the one who turned everything upside down. Mantra went on to the rooftop. Mantra chhat ke upar gayi, and this whole city, there is so much chahal pehla. All the arrangements are being done. Everybody is so happy. Everybody is rejoicing. Kal Ram Raja banenge. Mantra saw what is going on, and she saw Ram's dai there also on the rooftop. And she was also very happy, and she mantra asked her, what is going on? He said, there is an announcement done that tomorrow Ram's Rajyabhishek will be done and all the preparations are being done. And mantra, immediately she was filled with anger. She immediately rushed down from that rooftop and came to the room of Kekai and started yelling at Kekai actually. Kekai was lying on her bed that time. Kekai did not do anything. No news has come inside yet. Mantra came and told Kekai, yelled at Kekai actually, Uttishta mudhe kim sheshe bhayam taniva bhartate uplupta bhagavena kimatmana na buddhyase. Hey mudhe, you are sleeping? So much misfortune has come upon you and you are resting nicely. Get up. So much danger has come upon you. Misfortune has come upon you. And Kekai is thinking, what has happened? Why Mantra is speaking like this? Mantra told, your husband, you think your husband loves you the most, you are the most dear queen, but he has taken such a big decision and even did not inform you. He doesn't love you, he doesn't care for you. Actually, he has done the biggest favor to Kaushalya. He is making Ram as the king tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, there will be Rajyabhishek for Ram. And Kekai became very happy. Kekai was thinking, oh, Mantra is upset because nobody gave her any gift. Such a big occasion has come and nobody gifted her anything. So maybe that's why she is upset. Kekai immediately took off a necklace and gave to Mantra. You become happy. See, I am giving you such a nice gift, nice necklace. And Mantra threw that necklace away. Kekai is thinking, oh, she is not happy with one necklace. Maybe she wants more. Itna bada news hai, she is looking for a bigger gift. So Kekai is happy in the heart actually. Oh, I am very happy. Tomorrow Ram's Rajyabhishek will be done. You have given such a good news to me. Mantra is thinking, you are fool number one. There is such a misfortune for you and you are becoming happy. Ram is going to be the king. Bharat will become the servant of Ram. Ram's mother Kaushalya will be Rajmata. You will be the servant's mother. Actually, Kekai said, no, Ram is very good. Ram is filled with all the good qualities. Actually, he is the elder son and he is most filled with all these good qualities, so he deserves to become the king. And I do not see any difference between Ram and Bharat. Rameva bharteva aham visheshno plakshaye tasmat tushtasmi yad raja ram rajyabhishekshati. If Ram is becoming the king, for me there is no difference. For me, Ram and Bharat are the same. And one day, Bharat will also become the king. So what is the big deal about this? Today Ram is becoming the king. Sometime later, Bharat will also get the opportunity. Mantra said, you are fool, Balishe. She is addressing Kekai like that. Balishe, Mudhe. इतना सर चली थी वो केकई की. So you think sometimes Bharat will also get the opportunity, but have you ever seen once somebody become the king, later their children, their sons will become the king. So now Ram is becoming the king, tomorrow Ram's sons, they will become the king. Bharat will always be just like a servant. And he will be just standing in front of the Ram, holding hand and just walking back and forth behind him, serving him. And you will be the mother of a servant. And Kekai actually started thinking. Kekai's intelligence changed, her consciousness changed. He started thinking, maybe mantra is telling me right. Ram is becoming the king. And mantra is telling again and again, see, Dashrath Maharaj, if there was no bad intentions in his heart, why he did not inform you? Why he took this decision all of a sudden? Secretly. So definitely there is some hidden agenda behind this. So Kekai intelligence changed and she asked Mantra, now what should I do? What can I do now? Mantra said, remember your 2 boons? You told me once that Dashrath Maharaj gave you these 2 boons, the promise to fulfill your 2 desires. Now it's the time to ask for these 2 boons. You asked Dashrath Maharaj 2 desires. First you ask Bharat to become the king. Second, you should ask Ram to be sent to exile for 14 years. He should live in the forest as a hermit. You should ask these 2 boons from Dashrath Maharaj. Immediately you should give up your fine clothes, fine jewelry, go to Kop, lay down on the ground, on the floor. Until Dashrath Maharaj agrees to fulfill these 2 desires, do not give up your inconsistency. Do not give up your this anger. And immediately Kekai threw away her fine clothing, fine jewelry, put off that dirty clothes and went into the Kop Bhavan and lay down on the floor. See what has happened here? Kekai, what is the mistake which Kekai has done? 2 things which Kekai did wrong. One was the effect of bad association. She took the association of mantra. So that bad association caused the whole damage. Because of that one bad association, she had to leave Ram. The whole Ayodhya had to leave Ram. So power of bad association. We say the power of good association. Same way power of bad association. Asatsanga. That's why again and again it said, Asatsanga Tyaga ei Vaishnava Achar. Giving up the wrong association, that is conducive for Vaishnava. Because of the wrong association, we may get wrong desires, wrong intentions. It may contaminate our heart. So why Ram is going to forest? Actually, what was the background which became the cause of Ram's going to the forest? Because in Ayodhya these 2 problems happened. Kekai represents karma and mantra represents lobha, greed. When our karma, when our activity is inspired by greed, then dharma goes away from our life. Because Kekai represents karma, mantra represents lobha. Because Kekai was inspired by mantra, Ram had to go away from Ayodhya. So same way when our activities are inspired by greed, dharma goes away from our life. The activity, doing our karma is not wrong. Everybody has to do their karma, right? Everybody has to do their duty. If somebody is having a job, somebody is having a business, somebody is doing farming or some other profession, doing our profession is not wrong. We have to do our activity, our profession, our karma. But if our activities are contaminated by the desire of greed to over-accumulate, that becomes bad. And when the greed is there, then dharma is not there in life. People are so much greedy of accumulating more and more by hook or crook, by wrong means. So Kekai did these 2 wrong things. One was bad association Second was she had shared the secret between husband and wife with her servant. And she took guidance from such a lowly person who has no consciousness, no intelligence. See, she shared the secret between husband and wife. Dasharatha Maharaj gave those two rules. How did Mantra come to know? Because Kekeyi herself told her. So she shared that secret between husband and wife with her servant. See, if at all we need to share our personal things with somebody, we should not never reveal that to anybody, like our servant, our far distant relatives or somebody. If you at all have to discuss something, any private matter, discuss with your mentor who can guide you. But Kekeyi discussed it with Mantra. Mantra, who herself is such a low-class person, contaminated consciousness, and she took advice from her, and that caused the whole destruction. So Kekeyi goes to Kop Bhavan, and in the evening, Dasharatha Maharaj, actually when he becomes free after making all the arrangements for Rajyabhishek, he thinks I should go and inform all the queens also. So first he comes to the palace of Kekeyi. He goes to the palace of Kekeyi, doesn't see Kekeyi anywhere, asks the servant, where is Kekeyi? They say, Kekeyi, she went running, she was such anger mood and she went running to the Kop Bhavan. And Dasharatha Maharaj immediately, he became afraid. What happened? Why Kekeyi is upset? Dasharatha Maharaj came to the Kop Bhavan, saw Kekeyi lying on the floor in those dirty clothes, and Dasharatha Maharaj was immediately, he was trying to pacify Kekeyi. My dear queen, my dear wife, what happened to you? I cannot see you in this condition. Hey Mridanayani, hey Sumukhi, hey Gajgamini. He is addressing Kekeyi with these sweet words. What happened to you? Is there some desire which is unfulfilled? Has somebody insulted you? If somebody insulted you, I will immediately give him Mrityudand. I will immediately kill him. Please tell me. Do you have any desire to be fulfilled? Please tell me, I will fulfill all your desires. Please give up this anger. Please put on your fine clothes and jewelry. I cannot see you in this way. And Kekeyi, because she was fully trained by mantra now, her consciousness was fully corrupted. She is talking with anger to Dasharatha Maharaj. You are telling me you will fulfill all my desires. मांगो क्या चाहिए बोलते रहते हो. मांगो क्या चाहिए कभी कुछ दिया भी है? Have you ever given something? Now you are telling, ask me something. Have you ever given me something? See, when anger comes, what happens? Very famous shloka of Bhagavad Gita. And what does Krishna says? ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसा संघास्तेषु उपजायते संघात् संजायते कामात् क्रोधो विजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः. When anger arises, one gives up all intelligence. Kekeyi is telling, you are saying, ask me, have you ever given me something? This is what happens when anger comes. Right? Sometimes wife may get angry at husband may get angry at wife, and this is what then comes out. Julie Bishop in today morning Bhagavatam class was narrating the dynamics of between husband and wife. A glass drops and that becomes the cause of whole fight. So Kekeyi is also in that mood right now. And generally this is what happens. Husband has done so much. He has spent all his life satisfying wife, taking care of all the needs of the wife, and the wife will say, मेरे लिए किया ही क्या है पूरे जीवन भर? And the husband also may tell the wife, what have you done for me? So Kekeyi is saying, have you ever done? Dasharatha Maharaj saying, ask me anything, I will fulfill all your desires. And Kekeyi said, okay, first take the oath of Ram. Ram की सौगंध खाइए कि जो भी मुझे चाहिए, you will fulfill all my desires. Dasharatha said, I will take the oath of Ram. मैंने राम की सौगंध खाकर कहता हूँ, जो भी तुम्हें चाहिए वो दूंगा. Ask me something, I cannot see you in this situation. And then Kekeyi drops the first bomb. What is the first bomb? Kekeyi say, the first boon I want is tomorrow morning you are making Ram as the king. But whatever all the arrangements is done, whatever all the ingredients have been accumulated, using same ingredient, make Bharat as the king. सुनहु प्राण प्रिय भावत जी का देहु एक बर भरत हिटिका. My first one is I want you to make Bharat as the king instead of Ram. Dasharatha Maharaj said, no problem. I fulfilled your first desire. Actually, I wanted to make Ram as a king because he is the elder son and he is Gunashreshth also. Everybody loves him. But Ram does not want to become the king. Ram is not greedy about kingdom. I was making him king, so he was being the obedient son. That's why he accepted to become the king. You want Bharat to become the king? Actually, Ram will be more happy that my younger brother is becoming the king. So I fulfilled your first goal. Ask me, what is the second goal you want? And then she dropped the second bomb. And she said, Tapas vesh vishesh udasi, 14 varsh Ram vanvasi. As soon as Dasharatha Maharaj heard that 14 varsh Ram vanvasi, as if the earth left under the feet of Dasharatha Maharaj, as if he was struck by a thunderbolt, as a tree when struck by the lightning, cut off and falls down on the ground. Dasharatha Maharaj could not stay on his feet. He fell on the ground. What did you ask? What are you saying? Do you know what are you asking? Tapas vesh vishesh udasi, 14 varsh Ram vanvasi. Sent Ram to exile for 14 years. What did Ram do to you? Why you want to send Ram to forest? You want Bharat to become the king? I fulfill your desire. But don't send Ram to forest. I cannot live without Ram. Nobody can live without Ram. Do you think all the citizens of Ayodhya, they can live without Ram? But Kekai was so insistent on that. She wanted Ram to be sent to forest. And she said, 14 varsh. And this tapas vesh vishesh udasi. What is the meaning of this udasi? Sometimes we think udasi means sadness. वो बड़ा उदास है. So sadness. Actually, scripture says what is the meaning of udasi? Udasi means anapeksha shuchir daksha udasino tatvayatha. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna tells these qualities. Anapeksha, shuchir, daksha. These three qualities. If somebody has these three qualities, that person is udasi. Udasi means when somebody has no desires to gain something, no lamentation for losing something, who is expert in all his dealings. That person is udasi. And when somebody has no such expectation, such desires or lamentation, then what happens? Gata vyatha. All their miseries go away. And then there is no misery. So Dasharatha Maharaj could not tolerate Kekai asking that boon, sending Ram to forest for 14 years. He saying, why do you want me to? I cannot live without Ram. I will die without Ram. Please take this boon back. But Kekai tasse mas nahi hui. Dasharatha Maharaj is telling, actually I also gave another promise also. Just now I made the promise to make, I gave the word to make Ram as the king. Earlier I had given you 2 boons. Now you want those 2 boons to be fulfilled. If I don't fulfill your boons, then also I go against my words. If I don't make Ram as the king, then also I go against my word. So if Ram goes to forest, then also I will die. If I don't fulfill these words, then also I will die. In both situations, my death is certain. मुझे तो अभी मरना ही है. If you want to send Ram to forest, do one thing. There is a sword hanging on the wall. Bring that sword, cut my head first, and then you can do whatever you want. But Kekai did not budge. Sumantra, morning came, the whole night passed by like that. Dasharatha is trying to pacify, try to please Kekai, but nothing happened. The whole night passed by. Early morning time came. All the people of citizens of Ayodhya, they started assembling outside the palace. All the ministers started assembling. Vashishta ji came outside the palace. Sumantra was standing there. Vashishta told Sumantra, you go inside and call Dasharatha Maharaj. The time of Ram's Rajyabhishek, that Pushya Nakshatra is coming. Please tell Dasharatha Maharaj to come and perform his duties. Sumantra went inside. He saw Dasharatha Maharaj sitting there under lamentation. He is not able to lift up his neck, and Sumantra is thinking maybe he is very tired. He was making all the arrangement and he's trying to speak to Darshan Maharaj. And at that time, Kekai tells Sumantra, you go and bring Ram, call Ram here. And Sumantra is thinking, what has happened all of a sudden? This whole Muhurat is passing by. And Darshan Maharaj said, you please go and bring Ram. So finally, Sumantra goes to the palace of Ramachandra. Ramachandra is getting ready in that morning hours. And Sumantra tells Darshan Maharaj is Kekai in her palace and they are calling you there. And Sita Devi and Ramachandra, what are they thinking? Actually, Kekai, she loves Ramachandra so much. And maybe Kekai is making all the plannings for Ram's Rajyabhishek. They are hurried up. Kekai must be telling Darshan Maharaj, you must hurry up to make all the arrangements and they want to see me immediately. So Ramachandra immediately came to the palace of Kekai. Lakshman is always with Ramachandra. So Lakshman is also standing behind. And as Ramachandra came here, he saw Dashrath Maharaj in such a mood of lamentation. There is no happiness on the face of Dashrath Maharaj. Ramachandra saw Dashrath Maharaj in that situation and he was filled with that little morosity. What happened to father? Why he is in this situation? Dashrath Maharaj is not able to speak anything. He asked Kekai, please tell me why father is in this situation. Mohi kahu maat tat dukh karan, karo jatan jahi hoi nivaran. Please tell me, is there something that Dashrath Maharaj is not able to fulfill his dharma? Please tell me what is that. I will make sure I fulfill that dharma. And Kekai said, actually I had asked 2 boons from your father. He promised me to give 2 boons, but now he is going against his dharma. He is not able to fulfill those 2 boons. Ramachandra says, please tell me what are those 2 boons but Dashrath Maharaj promised, and I will make all the endeavor to fulfill those promises. So then Kekai tells Ramachandra, these are the 2 boons I had asked. First one, I asked Maharaj Dashrath to make Bharat as the king instead of Ram. Instead of you, Bharat should become the king. And Ram started dancing. Ram became happy. I am very happy. My younger brother will become the king. Actually, I don't want to become the king. Father wanted to make me the king, so I was just obeying his order. And what is the second boon? Please tell me. She told, I want you to go to forest for 14 years. And Ram started dancing actually even more. That you have fulfilled my desire. Actually, it was my desire. I wanted to go to forest so that I can take association of the saintly people. I can destroy the demoniac forces. I can establish dharma. You have fulfilled my desire. How wonderful it is. So Lord Ramachandra has no moroseness on his face. When he was told you will become the king tomorrow, he did not start rejoicing. He did not start dancing in joy. When he was told that you have to leave Ayodhya, you have to go to forest for 14 years, still there was no lamentation on his face. Prasannatayam nagadabhishekaat stadana mamale vanavasa dukkha mukham bhuja shri raghunandanasya me sadastu sa manjula mangala prada. So Lord Ram's face is always filled with happiness. Lord Ramachandra is Atmaram. When he was told you will become the king, he was not happy. When he was told you will have to go to forest, he was not sad. Because he is self-satisfied. There is nothing that he wants to gain in this world and there is nothing that he can lose in this world. So the scriptures again and again they tell us what are the qualities we should acquire. Lord Ramachandra is teaching by his own example. And in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Yona harshati na dveshati na shochati na kamshati shubha ashubha parityagi bhakti manya same priya. Who is most dear to me? One who is not rejoicing on some gain, who is not lamenting or having envy on some loss. Na shochati na kamshati. Who is equal in all situations. And Lord Ramachandra is teaching by his own example. He is immediately ready to go to the forest. So actually, Acharya has explained This was Lord Ramachandra's hidden desire, and Lord Ramachandra had made Kekai as the instrument. So sometimes when we discuss, when we hear this pastime, we have that bad feelings towards Kekai. Right? Kekai did this. Kekai sent Ram to exile for 14 years. He took away kingdom from Lord Ramachandra. The Acharyas explain actually was the desire of Lord Ramachandra. The hidden pastime is Lord Ramachandra, when he came to know that he will become the king, he wanted to fulfill the purpose of his appearance, which is to go to forest and destroy all his demons. So Lord Ramachandra came to Kekai. Mother, can you do one favor for me? Please tell me, what can I do for you? Kekai loves Ramachandra more than her own son. So Kekai said, what can I do for you? He said, if I ask for this thing from Mother Kaushalya, Mother Sumitra, they will never do this for me. Only you can do this to me because you love me the most. मेरे लिए आप अपयश लेकर, अपकीर्ति लेकर भी आप मेरे लिए ये काम करोगे. So I want you. You can take this अपयश, अपकीर्ति for me. Please make arrangement to send me to the forest. That is my desire. Please fulfill that desire. And to fulfill Ram's desire, Kekai did all this thing. So one should not have that wrong feeling toward Kekai. Ultimately, that's Ram's desire because he wanted to go to forest. And there is another hidden thing is because Ramachandra is thinking, if I establish in Ayodhya, how will I go and meet all these saintly people, all those devotees who are waiting for me for thousands and thousands of years? And one such devotee was Shabari. So it was all Lord Ramachandra's arrangement. And externally, so there are internal reasons and external reasons. The obvious reasons and non-obvious reasons why this Ramachandra was sent to exile. So after that, Lord Ramachandra came to the palace of Mother Kaushalya. Shri Radha Gopijan Mother Bhavani ki jai, Shri Patita Pavan Bharati ki jai, Shri Gopal ki jai. So just 2 minutes, I will end it here and we'll continue in the next session. So after that, Ramachandra came to the palace of Mother Kaushalya, informed Mother Kaushalya what has happened. So what was the exchange between Ramachandra and Kaushalya Devi? When Sita Devi came there, what was the exchange of Lord Ramachandra with Sita Devi? Then exchange between Ramachandra and Lakshman. Exchange of Lakshman between Sumitra. Exchange of Lakshman between Urmila. Right? But all these different exchanges happen. Everybody want to go with Ramachandra. Kaushalya says, you take me also. Sita Devi want to go with Ramachandra. Lakshman want to go. Ultimately we know Ram, Sita, Lakshman, 3 went to the forest. But what were their different emotions, different exchanges happened. And why 3 of them went to forest? Banwas was given, asked for Ramachandra. Kekai asked the boon, send Ram to forest for 14 years. Ultimately, Ram, Lakshman and Sita, 3 of them went to forest. Why? Acharyas explain the external reason, because there are 3 diseases which came in Ayodhya. Kam, Krodh tatha Lobh. Dashrath Maharaj represents Kam. His heart is filled with such Kam. He is calling Kekai, Gajgamini, Sumukhi, Sunayani. I cannot see you in this situation. Please get up, put on your fine clothes and all. So Dashrath Maharaj represents Kam. Kekai represents Krodh. She got that anger. She is showing that anger who went to the Kopavan. Manthara represents Lobh. So when there is 3 diseases in Ayodhya, Kam, Krodh tatha Lobh. So from Ayodhya, 3 people went to the forest, 3 people went away. Ramachandra represents Dharma. When there is Kama, there cannot be Dharma. When there is Krodha, there cannot be peace, Shanti. Sita Devi represents Shanti. So जब क्रोध है तो शांति नहीं हो सकती. Lakshmana represents Vairagya. When there is Lobh, then where is the question of Vairagya? तो अयोध्या में ये 3 बीमारियां आई, these 3 diseases, काम, क्रोध तथा लोभ. That's why Dharma, Shanti and Vairagya went away from Ayodhya. That is Rama Vanvas. So same way in our heart, if our heart is filled with Kama, Krodh, Lobh, this lust, anger and greed, then Rama, Sita and Lakshman cannot stay in our heart. We have given place in our heart to these three things and we have sent Sita, Ram, Lakshman to exile from our heart. And that is the Tattvic meaning of Rama Vanavas. And if we want to establish Ram in our heart, if we want to bring back Ram in our heart, we need to remove this Kama, Krodha, Tatha, Lobh from our heart. So that is the Rama Vanavas. Will continue. Whatever the exchanges happened in brief, will not go in too much detail. And then Lord Ramachandra is going to exile. Kekai give them Balkal Vastra, the Tapas Vesh. Even she want to give to Sita Devi also, and then Dashrath Maharaj and Vashishta, they chastise Kekai. How can you do that? I never promised that type of boon. I only agreed that okay, Ram will go to forest. I never gave this boon that Sita also have to accompany in this clothing as a tapas vesh. So we'll continue that in the next session. Shri Ramachandra Bhagwan ki jai, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Mataji, somebody will do Kirtan? You will sing Arati? Gaur Arati?